Alright, so here I am in the garage. I have just finished chopping up the food. I feed them about this bowl's worth is all I feed them at a time. So I'll go take it in. Alright, here we are in the basement. Here's my bin. You can see it's just 4 layers. And I collect the water. It's getting about time to change that. And what I do is I label the corners. So that's 1, that's 3, that's 2, that's going to be 4. So I fed in this corner first, and then I fed in this corner, and then I fed in this corner. So tonight I'm going to feed in this corner. So here's my bin, and usually what I do is, yeah, I can just open this up. So here's my worms. You can see I have quite a few worms in there, and there's quite a bit of stuff on the back that I'm going to scrape off with my handy dandy spatula. And so I'll do that, and then I'll resume. Alright, I don't know if this is going to show up, but you can see perhaps that it's quite indented down there where I last fed, number 2 there. Number 3 is not quite so bad, but I must have fed there last. Oh yeah, I see. I circle the 1, so this was 1, and this is where I fed last, and then I fed 2 last time, and you'll see it's kind of all indented. It's basically down there because they've consumed all the food. So I think actually I'm going to feed over in this corner. So the first thing I'll do is I'll scrape out all of the compost into a handy dandy bucket, and then that way I'll have room to feed. So I'll resume when I'm done. Going. Alright, so I am going to empty this out. As you can see, this stuff has gotten kind of crusty, but there's no food left down here, so this is good to mix it up anyway and get it loosened up so the worms can breathe and eat through that thing. Alright, so I'm going to stuff all this, worms and all, into my bucket, like so. And I'm creating a hole, basically, for the next bunch of food. Alright, so here we are. Put that down, and then I get my exact amount of food, and I dump it in here. And I kind of push it in the corner. Now you'll see this is real high. So I kind of loosen up the bedding a little, and now I just take this and I dump it on, worms and all, and cover that food good, and then spread this around. So now I have a flat, even surface, whereas before it was really done. So I'm not done yet. What I do next is I take these are used coffee filters, you can see, and I put those down, and when I'm done with that, I'll spray them with my spray bottle, which unfortunately is out in the garage, but you'll just have to take my word for it. And they like having this layer of paper. They seem to make them happy, and it keeps the moisture in as well. So I just save my coffee. I'm saving my coffee anyway for my compost, so I just save the filters and use them for this. And I'm just about done. One more. And at this point in time, I would spray it. I have a spray bottle. I would spray it and then put the cover back on. And I'll circle this one. So now I fed 3 times here. I feed roughly once a week. So I've fed 3 times. I'll be able to feed one more time before I harvest this. And I just want to show you something else that I do, and that is I like to make sure that these bins below are nice and fluffed up. The stuff, the vermicompost gets real compacted, so it's a good idea to just go through, and you can see all the worms that are still working on this bed. I like to go through here and just, you don't do this on this one until it's been in there for a while, because there still might be food. You don't want to mix the food and the bedding. But this one's been down there long enough that I can do this. And so you see what I'm doing is I'm just loosening it up so it's not so compact, and that the worms then have a much easier time moving around and breathing, and they're much happier. So I might do that every once in a while just to make sure that they're going. So here we'll just go and do one more. This one, see, this one is really very close to being ready, even though it's my 3rd bucket. And that's because I've, I get lazy and I don't feed them necessarily every week. Sometimes it might be 10 days, so this might go for, this has probably been here more than 3 months. But this one's looking good now. And then we'll do it on the last one, and the last one, like you observed, is very mushy. So I think it's real important to do it on this one. Look how muddy that is. But look how it's just pure black. There's no trace of food left in this. This is ready to harvest. I'm going to let it go till I've fed 4 times. But this is definitely looking very good and ready to harvest. I don't see any food. It smells good. So, yeah, it's very mushy. It's very, very wet. And then sometimes I like to, just because I feel sorry for them drowning, I like to expose the last bin and see how bad it is. There's definitely a few worms in here and lots of good stuff. So I'm going to take all this good stuff and just put it in one of those bins. Use this little guy here and just stick this stuff in here. This is so moist, it's just, this is going to have to dry for a while. Up there, up above, you can see my light. I don't normally have this on. It's partially to get enough light for the photography, but that's the light that I turn on when I'm harvesting, as we talked about. So this is nice and clean now. So I can go ahead and reassemble my bins. 1, 2, 3, and then the feeding bin, which is now labeled. And, oh, there's a little worm. See the little worm? I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I feel sorry for him, so I'm going to dump him back in here. And then that's it. So, I'll be putting this up on YouTube, and talk to you later.